Hi, everyone. I wanted to come through and make an audio recording. And at first, I was going to make this just for one group or two groups, but I've been really called by Spirit to make this available to everyone who's in classes with me right now. And I'm going to touch a little bit in this meditation on the different tools that we focus on in each group. And so it will be applicable to each of you, and I think also applicable to all of you. Because at the end of the day, what I want to call your attention to is really the quantum and holographic nature of reality. And, we talk about law of attraction and The Secret, and I think that people have an assumed understanding of what that means. That I can just say, well, I want a car or I want a boat or whatever, and it will just magically appear because I said I wanted it. And what I think people don't understand is how much more complicated it is than that on some level. And then at the same time, how easy it is to access what you seek. It's literally at your fingertips. But the human condition, and this is what makes spiritual work to me so fascinating, that I know I'll never get bored of it in my lifetime. Even though I know a lot for being at this place in my life, there's still so much to uncover and understand. And I will also say too, if I hadn't had experiences of journeying and exploring other dimensions, I don't think I would fully understand what I'm about to tell you. So hopefully I can explain it in a way that you will understand if you haven't had those experiences outside of third dimension reality. But it's complex and easy at the same time. The challenge and the reason that most people are stuck is because they aren't activating this awareness. There's a really grand responsibility that you hold as someone who knows better to live your life in accordance with what I would say are laws. I mean, a lot of this is based in Hermetic principles that are the ancient laws of alchemy, really, and even pre-alchemy. You have, in a sense, an obligation to live in accordance with these principles, because as a spiritual person, people are watching you, and when you lead and live by example, you are going to be teaching others how to live this way too. The challenge of it is, really truthfully, is you have to be consistent. This isn't about deciding, oh, okay, well, today's Tuesday and I feel good, so I guess I'll be optimistic today and do the work. But then tomorrow, if something doesn't go your way, if you drop off and you're inconsistent, you're not going to manifest what you seek. Consistency is absolutely the name of the game when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to creation, when it comes to activation, when it comes to ascension, when it comes to evolution. This is not a practice for today or a practice for tomorrow. This is a way of living. And I really want to invite you to step into it. And then I want to talk about, what might throw you out of it and how to get back in, because you are human. I mean, we're all human. And so shit's going to happen all the time to throw you off course. The question becomes, what do you do with it? And yes, I know this is hard. I mean, honestly, it's hard AF, right? You chose this path. Your soul is here for this reason. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's any accidents in the universe. I cannot point to anything in the universe and say that's an accident, because the universe is an inherently intelligent design. The intelligence of the universe should be something that you're constantly in awe of, because it is so magnificent and so overwhelming and so overpowering, for me anyway, that I am in constant awe of how the intelligence of the universe carries itself out. There's a beauty and a symmetry and a magnificence to it that's overwhelming. But so what I'm going to share with you here, and I don't know how long this is going to be, so hang on, is just my way. Do you know what I mean? This is how I do what I do. And I have a very Zen approach to learning, which is just take from this and from me what resonates, and let go of anything that doesn't resonate. Let go of anything that I offer here that doesn't seem in alignment or doesn't serve you. Because ultimately you are the best judge of your own process. You have an intuitive sense of where you are right now in your own process of evolution and development. You have an intuitive sense of what you need, and you have an intuitive sense of what isn't relevant for you in this moment. And so engage all of that awareness as you tune in and listen to what I'm going to offer you here today. And I hope it's a blessing for you on many different levels. And so it is. When I was a little girl, about 5 years old, I lived in the Inland Empire of Southern California. It was very hot, and we had not yet moved to Southern California, the part of Southern California near Los Angeles where I am now. And we were constantly looking for a refuge in the summer, because it would top out at, far beyond 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was just very hot all the time, but especially in the summer. And so my mom and dad had met these friends, and they lived in the same part of town as we did, but it was up higher on a hill. And so they had just a beautiful breeze during the summer. And so one of the things I loved about their house was that no matter when we went there, even if it was in the peak of summer, you could still go and play outside, because at our house you really couldn't do that. And so I remember one day going to their house. It was one of the first times that we had been there. And we were at their house, walking toward the backyard. I remember standing in the kitchen and just looking up and looking out and seeing these beautiful French doors, these beautiful white French doors opening to their garden. And I remember taking a full panoramic view for myself. At 5 years old, I remember this so vividly, starting at the farthest left and just letting my gaze gently slip, as I turned my head to the right, and just taking the entire vision of their backyard, their garden. It was expansive, just taking it in. And what I want you to imagine is there wasn't a place in their garden that wasn't green. The grass was thick and lush, and as far as the eye could see, multiple acres, right? Huge olive trees, huge willow trees. I mean, just as tall, I couldn't even see above them. And then just the foliage, dripping from the trees, almost down to the ground. As far as I could see, the entire property was ringed in these massive trees that just seemed so lush. And in the breeze, because again, they were on a hillside, in the breeze, it was like the trees were talking, as I could hear the wind blowing through the branches and the leaves and the rustling. And other than that, it was completely silent. And as my vision sort of scanned around, I noticed that there were fruit trees, and literally just the biggest, ripest fruit hanging on those trees. And I remember just thinking to myself, I had never seen grapefruits like that. I had never seen peaches like that. I had never seen apples like that. I had never seen cherry trees, big, ripe, juicy cherries hanging, and fruit on the ground, huge avocados. And just, it was a vision of the Garden of Eden. I mean, whenever I hear the phrase Garden of Eden, I always think back to that place, because there was a sense that, and I remember vividly having this thought as a little girl, there was a sense that anything I wanted or needed in that moment was right there. Like literally, I could just, anything I wanted or needed, I could just reach out and touch it. It was right there. I don't know how long I spent walking that garden. I was by myself. My parents must have just seen me kind of in the zone and just like, okay, let her go. And I remember going to those trees and touching the bark and touching the leaves of the branches that were low enough for me to reach. And I remember picking up the fruit that was on the ground. I remember they had loquats, and I had never seen a loquat before. And so I was completely fascinated. And then I got to taste one, and I remember it was just so ripe and sweet and delicious, and the flesh just fell away from the pit, and even the pit was beautiful, like everything about every part of that place. And I remember thinking to myself, how is this even possible? I mean, this house was 5 minutes from my house, which had no lush, no green, no breeze, no ripe fruit. I mean, basically, a lot of the landscaping that happens in the Inland Empire is like very sustainable, right? Cactuses and low grasses and things that don't require irrigation because it's so dry. I remember thinking to myself, this in my child mind, it's like this is an absolute anomaly. How is this even possible? That moment was so profoundly important in my development because what it reinforced was that is a reality. There is a place right now where everything that you desire is so completely within your reach. And everything that you don't desire, I mean, everything that you don't even know that you could desire. That's why when we set intentions, we always say this or something better, right? Because the universe often has the ability to conjure and manifest for us things that are outside the bounds of what we even think is possible or available to us. But this place, just like it was for me when I was 5, this place is just down the street for you. You know what I mean? And you might think, well, how is that even possible? you know? But that garden, that secret garden becomes this representation, this example for you, because it was so much and so profoundly for me. And reminder, right, that your view is so narrow and occluded that if you really want to understand what's possible in your life and what's available to you right at the tip of your fingertips right this very minute, you're going to have to hold space for the fact that it's possible, that there are other realities happening concurrently where everything you desire is right within reach, and everything that you seek and everything that you need is right there. And you can reach out and touch it, and it's as simple as that. But like I said earlier, it's as simple as that, and it's complex too, because to get to this place, here's what I know, okay? To get to this place of manifestation, this Garden of Eden where things happen with ease and there's incredible flow, you can't indulge the lower vibrations. You have to really suspend a lot of disbelief. If you're in old patterns where you're like, my health is never going to improve and my finances are never going to improve, and that is inconsistent with everything I've just been describing to you for the last 12 minutes. Because if I went into that garden and I said, you know what, this isn't possible, this isn't real, I'm sorry, but it's 2,000 degrees outside, and so it's not possible to have trees this lush with this much fruit and this much beauty, and this is impossible. Okay. But you would, if I said that at that age, you would have said, no, Athena, you're standing right here, sweetheart. This is real. And so when I look at you and I say, no, it really is possible. It is possible for you to experience better health and deeper joy and more intense peace and passion. It's possible. And you look at me and you say, no, this is how it's always been. And that's the kind of frustration that I feel on the other side of that, because what I'm talking to you about energetically is as real as that garden is for me, or was for me as a child. And that's the best example I think I'll probably in this lifetime ever be able to give you of what it means to hold space for things that seem impossible. Truly. I don't know that there's anything that's impossible, I have to say. I even look in the past when I've thought relationships were impossible, like, oh, that'll never be healed, or that person will never shift out of that mindset, or I'll never be able to open my heart again. And just I've had experiences time after time after time where it is possible. That person can shift. I can open my heart. I can experience love. I don't know that anything is truly impossible. But I believe that in my soul. And so I come to you today and I say, do you believe it too? I ask you that. Do you believe anything is possible? So I want you to close your eyes. I'm offering this to you at the new moon because I think it's important for you to play in this garden of possibility. And it may seem far-fetched and crazy to you, and okay, but I'm telling you, this is how I live. This is how I love. This is how I have manifested what seems very impossible to people. This is how I have healed. This is how I have grown. This is how I've found peace. And this is how I have helped thousands of people to shift the paradigm. So if you're ready, I want you to close your eyes and roll your shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath and call all of your energy into present time. And I want you to imagine that just like me when I was a little girl, that you are standing in front of the most beautiful, beautiful French doors, beautiful panes of glass, beautiful white wood, and just beautiful doors. And beyond, through those beautiful panes of glass, is your secret garden. Once you open these doors that you're standing in front of, and your guides may have opened the doors already, but once you open these doors, you are stepping out into a place of possibility in your life. And I'm pausing you here because here's what you can't take out there. You can't take your doubt or your fear or your assumptions. You can't take your baggage. You can't take other people's problems. You can't take your anger or your jealousy. You can't take your sadness or your rage. You can't take any of that into the garden of possibility, because those are the energy streams that are going to prevent you from being able to access what's there. They're inconsistent. And so I want you to consciously in this moment call in belief. You know, that's my mantra word, believe. I want you to call in belief and appreciation and gratitude. I want you to call in love and peace and alignment and balance. I want you to call in joy and comfort and excitement. I want you to call in optimism and hope. I want you to call in your heart racing just a little bit because you don't know what's out there and you can't wait to see it. I want you to call in smiling and laughter. I want you to call in lightheartedness and light beingness and ease of spirit. I want you to call in relaxation and softening of your body. And when you're ready, I want you to open those beautiful French doors, imagining yourself extending your hand and turning the knob and feeling the door open towards you. And as you take your first step out into this garden of possibility, I want you to begin your gaze all the way to the left. And as you turn your gaze, I want you to imagine seeing in this garden of possibility everything you desire right now. Everything you desire right now. And just allow yourself to enjoy it and take it in. Imagine seeing where you want to live right now. Really looking at where you want to live. What does it look like? What are the rooms like? Imagine walking through the house you want to live in. Seeing all the beautiful things. And seeing it with joy, like, oh my gosh, look at this and look at that. Isn't it incredible? Look at all of these things. Then I want you to imagine experiencing the relationship of your dreams. This is your garden of possibility. What does your relationship there look like? Oh my goodness, laughter and fun and pleasure and intimacy and joy and conversation and exploration, adventure, all of those things that you're doing and seeing, and walks on the beach and candlelight meals and laughter and new adventures, traveling, seeing new places and new countries. Where would you like to visit in this garden of possibility? You're going to a beautiful beach in Thailand or Hawaii, or maybe you're heading to the outback of Australia, or maybe you're going to go explore Europe, see the Eiffel Tower in France, or the Uffizi Museum in Italy, or going to the Vatican in Rome, Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you seeing? And then how do you feel in this garden of possibility? Oh my goodness, your body feels light, right? Easy to move, your muscles. You move with ease and no pain. You can extend your arms and your legs. You can see so clearly. You just feel comfortable in your body. It's like, oh, this is so good. This is how it should always feel. No tension, just soft and relaxed. Feeling beautiful and strong. Just enjoying that for a minute. And who's there with you in this garden of possibility, and what are they experiencing? Are you laughing with your children, or connecting with friends or with parents or with relatives you haven't seen? You might even feel like you're making contact with relatives on the other side, children you haven't brought through yet. So this garden of possibility, time collapses, right? The dimensions sort of loop in on each other, and you can just see and touch and feel. It's all there for you. What's your profession? What are you doing? How are you making money in this place of possibility? Who are your customers, and how are you blessing them? What new things are you bringing into being? What is being created through you? What does commerce look like here? And are you experiencing joy around everything coming to you with ease? It's like, oh, I want to experience this, or I need these resources, or I need these people to help me, and they're just right there. And like, I would need this much money to start what I want to create, and it's just right there. And it'll be this color and these, places, and I will open an office here, or create, a healing space there, or I will work with these kinds of people in this industry. And for you, it could be, I'll be a nurse helping patients, or I'll be a therapist who is connecting with people and helping them find healing in their past, and the joy that will come from the peace that they'll experience when they work with me. I'll be serving others, and I'll be serving so joyfully, and what I will be giving to them will be healing and nourishing. I'll be creating beauty in the world, and this is what it will look like, and this is who will receive it, and they'll receive it with ease, and I will create it with ease. And I'll enjoy creating it. I won't be able to wait to wake up in the morning and get started. Are there things that you desire? Are there experiences that you desire? Call them all in while you're in this garden of possibility. It's literally like fruit hanging from trees that's just ready for you to pick it. It's ripe. It's all ripe and ready for you. And you might feel like just twirling around like a little girl in the sunshine here, and just letting your hair down and letting yourself just enjoy the process and the experience of just being in physical peace, in emotional peace, in spiritual peace, and enjoying this energy of just pure joy, especially if it's not one that you've connected to before. Really let yourself receive the joy in this moment of being in this place. And even if all of this stuff seems impossible, you have to remember that there are impossible places. There are impossible places. There are things that your eyes will tell you can't possibly be real, and yet they are. And yet they are. I want you to choose 8 things from this garden of possibility today. The 8. 8 things. It could be experiences of health. It could be things, material things that you seek to manifest. It can be places you wish to travel to. It can be relationships you wish to enjoy more deeply. 8 things. I'm going to go quiet for a minute while you choose the 8. Do you have your 8? I want you to imagine that you have a beautiful indigo velvet bag sitting in front of you. I want you to place those 8 things into your beautiful indigo velvet intention bag that we're working with this new moon. I chose indigo because, of course, that's the color of the new moon. So that's the color I want you to work with right now. So you have put your beautiful 8 intentions that you are calling into being. You've put them in your beautiful indigo velvet bag. And I want you to imagine calling in the most bright, beautiful white beam of light up from the heavens itself, up from this dark night sky at the new moon, calling in this beautiful beam of white light from source. And I want you to imagine allowing that beautiful beam of white light to extend right down and into that indigo bag of intentions, those 8 beautiful gifts that you're taking from your garden of possibility today. And as that white beam of light just flows into that bag and bathes those 8 in that light of possibility, I want you to say thank you 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you for these blessings that are already on their way. And so it is, sweet ones. I hope this has been a blessing of an experience for you to, first of all, to even allow yourself to indulge yourself as you explore your desires today. I'm proud of you for creating space for that, for allowing Source to work through you, your higher self, to communicate what's possible, to use your wisdom and discernment to choose the 8 to prioritize this month. Next month, you can put a new 8 in your bag. That's the beauty. You have a new moon every cycle, every month. And so it's a constant renewal, constant opportunity. Whatever didn't get chosen this month, the timing wasn't exactly right. You can then transfer and choose to work with that in your intention bag through this garden of possibility next month. And you'll have access to this recording forever, so you can always come back and play it whenever you need it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. May all of our collective intentions that we seed on this night come to pass in perfect time. I'm going to do a little bit of a variation on this tonight in our live new moon rituals, so hopefully you enjoyed it. You'll have a chance to practice it again with me this evening. May you be blessed in every way, not just today, but always. And never forget that garden of possibility exists for you. You choose to enter, you choose to believe, but I do, in my heart, know this for sure. Those who manifest focus on the vibration. They focus on the frequency of what is already available to them. And they have learned that when you indulge the lower frequencies, it's almost impossible to get where we just went. It is the secret, the real secret. And so it is. Thank you so much for your presence. As always, new moon blessings to you. I'll see you soon.